You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We're going to start this thing off right. Raider! Everything runs through Lubbock.
Great to be with you again on Locked On Texas Tech, special edition dropping in on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day with the only Chris Level. I'm Casey Cowan. Chris, great to be back with you and great to be dropping in to discuss a bit of news like this as Elijah Hawkins, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher, has chosen the Red Raiders as his next college basketball home, and curious to visit with you about the role that he will immediately fill. Is this a starting PG on day one? And whether or not a guy like this, because of the possibility of filling that role, could be the biggest get yet of this portal cycle for Grant McCasland and the Red Raiders. Either way you describe it, obviously very good news for Texas Tech.
I like doing mean things to the University of Minnesota. I don't know why. You go back. I think about that big time bowl comeback there in Tempe back when Mike Leach was like, "Hey man, I guess we'll just start playing in the second half. We'll kick a field goal in overtime. Glenn Mason will get fired." And we'll just kind of move on, and then, Tubby Smith did a lot more for your basketball program than they did for Minnesota. And I remember being in Puerto Rico, one of those MTE events, and the game was a bit personal to Tubby when he was the Texas Tech head coach, and he kind of got back at the old Golden Gophers for kind of running him out of town. And anyway, it worked here.
Fill that bingo card up, folks. Mike Leach, Tubby Smith, Minnesota, Glenn Mason, Puerto Rico. All in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was on like, I think Thanksgiving week several years ago. And now your loss, the Golden Gophers, is the Red Raiders' gain. Elijah Hawkins now going to be manning the point for Grant McCasland's team. And yeah, this moves to the top of the list as far as portal additions for this particular offseason. Second in the country in assists. I just think he's going to make everybody's life easier, and it's now your biggest need that you've checked off that box. And I think he had a good visit when he was here, and I think he clearly, jived with everybody, and it was, one of those things where, felt like this was home. But this is like, you start talking about averaging like 7+ assists a game. You are really good at your craft, man. That is exceptional. And people around him love playing with guys like this because, again, he sets them up. He understands angles and all these things. And he can score too, because a lot of times, guys like this, they're so good at passing the ball. It's like you'll see, hey, man, just play off of him. Dare him to score. See if he can beat you scoring 25 points a game. And all that, but he can score too, averaging about close to double digits. And so, this fires me up because this is a starter right now until we see anything differently. It's your bona fide starting point guard, and I think that Minnesota's frowns and frustration. It's easy to understand why when you take away, because now guess what? Now they need a point guard because you just took theirs, but. Yeah, this one, this is big news here, man.
247, the assist number, 90, the turnover number a season ago for the Golden Gophers. And I think you got to always consider those things in the context of their relationship. And obviously that was one thing that stood out about Texas Tech as the season went along last year in year one under Grant McCasland, how he was able to mold them into a team that really took care of the basketball and obviously really widened your margin for error whenever you're avoiding those types of mistakes. So he would fit in very, very nicely.
And look at the other guard that they added, Kevin Overton, who played all those minutes and had 17, 18 turnovers the entire season. Which I think that kind of got that part of his game kind of got slept on. I think your guard rotation, could we see another addition there? Don't want to rule anything out. You certainly have the available spots open and all those things, but I think for the most part, you can go to battle now. Now, we'll talk about what else you may need another time, but this is all about Elijah Hawkins. And so Hawkins, Overton, McMillan, D5, Cambridge, you've got enough guard skills and things like that there to where you can get through a season, and you've certainly got different skill sets, but you're much bigger. And Hawkins is not that, but that's about the only thing you can look at on paper and go, and again, if he was a lot taller, he'd probably be in the association and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not coming back to Minnesota. I'm going to wait for Adam Silver to call my name out in the draft, But yeah, so box checked, bag secured. All the cliches here on checking the box for your biggest need of the off season. Once you understand that Pop Isaacs is going to leave, once you understand that obviously Joe Toussaint is graduated and all those things, this was a must. And while Kevin Overton helped that just a bit, there was nobody that was a leader / facilitator like a Hawkins out there. And there was other options out there, but this is the one you honed in on and you got him.
Man, it has some eye-popping double-doubles as far as his scoring punch and the assist numbers a season ago, including maybe arguably, without seeing it, I wouldn't know, but just looking at the numbers, his best game of the year against a very good Illinois team where he went for 10, but also 12 assists, 0 turnovers that day. So that's something that's going to play on any court in America. And obviously you're feeling really good about this as a Tech fan because of who you, fended off for his services after losing one to Kentucky and a big man in Andrew Carr. Well, there was talk about a Kentucky visit and the Wildcats being in there hot and heavy for the services of Hawkins as well, but winds up as a Red Raider. So always feels good whenever you're fending off some stiff competition like that for anybody. Yeah,
this is a guy that obviously Grant McCasland can immediately trust. And that's the hardest thing to earn from a head coach, especially when you're the point guard. It's like being quarterback. I mean, it's I want to know what I'm going to get every game. I want to know that you're going to be consistent and you're going to take care of the football. And in this case, the basketball. And so I think that, he's certainly got a track record and that about a 2.5, close to a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And that's big time, man. Second most, assists per game in the country. It's one of the best passers in college basketball. Well, then nothing else needs to be said.
Yeah, and some of those guys that you kept as Red Raiders obviously going to benefit greatly from that on the offensive end of the floor when you think about guys like Williams or McMillan.
This is why Chance McMillan was show him some love, man. He can kick it to me in the corner.
Exactly.
How do you think I'm going to get these threes made every game? I need my guy to get me the ball. So yeah, I mean you're darn right. Chance McMillan was like, "Come on, show him some love," So there you go.
Good stuff. Come on down to West Texas, Mr. Hawkins. Glad to have you. Can't wait to see you in action, and can't wait to be back with you, Chris, to talk about the next portal edition. So make sure you're subscribed out there on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss one when one drops, as they always come fast and furiously. Chris, appreciate a little bonus time from you here today.
Absolutely. These are fun, man. Let's do some more of these. But
that's right.
Not up to us. We got to reel them in first, and then we'll talk about them.
That's right. Appreciate you guys being out there as always, and looking forward to the next episode with you tomorrow. So hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.